Cowboys Nation, welcome back to Dallas Game Day. And buckle up because today's topic is as explosive as it gets. We're talking about rumors swirling around the Dallas Cowboys possibly being linked to one of the biggest names in football, Tyreek Hill. Yes, that Tyreek Hill, the cheetah himself, a former NFL receiving leader, one of the fastest, most dynamic wideouts the league has ever seen. And yet, this isn't just about football. This isn't just about adding a weapon for Dak Prescott. This is about risk, reputation, and the direction of America's team under head coach Brian Schottenheimer. Here's the situation. The Cowboys are in a tough spot after losing CeeDee Lamb to a high ankle sprain in Week 3. Lamb is expected to miss 3 to 4 weeks, maybe more depending on his recovery timeline, and in his absence, George Pickens is being asked to step into the WR1 role with Jalen Tolbert elevated to WR2. Now, Cowboys Nation, we all know the talent Pickens has. The fire, the contested catch ability, the swagger, he can be special. But even the most optimistic fan has to admit, taking Lamb out of this lineup leaves a massive hole in the offense. Dak Prescott needs weapons, and defenses will be keying in on Pickens every snap. That's where the chatter about Tyreek Hill comes in. Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox floated the idea of Dallas being a potential suitor if the Dolphins were open to moving him. On paper, it makes sense. Hill is still one of the most dangerous players in the game, capable of turning any play into a touchdown from anywhere on the field. Put him in a lineup with Pickens, add Lamb once he's healthy, sprinkle in Jake Ferguson and Brandon Aubrey's clutch leg, and suddenly this Dallas offense goes from being thin at wide receiver to being downright terrifying. That's the kind of move that could catapult Dallas right back into NFC contention. But Cowboys Nation, here's where things get complicated. Tyreek Hill is currently under NFL investigation for domestic violence accusations made by his ex-wife. That is serious. That is not something you just sweep under the rug because you need a receiver. Any trade would be conditional depending on what the league decides about Hill's availability this season. And that's where the risk lies. Do you want to give up a draft pick, potentially a third rounder for a player who could be suspended at any moment? And do you want the Cowboys brand, America's team, associated with that kind of controversy while the investigation is ongoing? This is where Jerry Jones has to weigh the scales. Jerry has always been a bold owner, never afraid of headlines, never afraid to make a splash. But he also knows the Cowboys' reputation matters. Bringing in Hill would make this offense electric, no doubt, but it would also bring a storm of questions, criticism, and distractions. And right now, with a team that's already trying to find its footing after a 1-2 start, is that really what you want in the locker room? Here's my take. Dallas should not pursue Tyreek Hill. Not because of his talent, no one questions that, but because the risk far outweighs the reward. This is a team that already has the pieces to compete. Dak Prescott is playing some of his most confident football in years under Schottenheimer's play calling. Pickens, though raw, is capable of stepping into the spotlight. Jalen Tolbert and KaVontae Turpin can give you role player production. And when Lamb comes back, the offense is going to stabilize. Add in the possibility of Dallas making a safer trade for a younger receiver like Xavier Legette, and you realize there are options that don't involve the kind of baggage Hill brings. And also, let's not overlook the fact that the Cowboys need their defense to step up more than anything. The loss to Chicago highlighted the secondary struggles, and fixing coverage breakdowns might do more for this team than adding another receiver. Dallas has over $30 million in cap space. They can explore other avenues. Maybe add a veteran DB. Maybe reinforce the offensive line with Cooper Beebe sidelined. Maybe even add another rotational pass rusher to complement Jadeveon Clowney and DeMarcus Lawrence. This team's path to relevance doesn't have to hinge on a desperate swing for Tyreek Hill. And here's the good news, Cowboys Nation. Even without Lamb, this season is not lost. We're talking about a quarterback in Dak Prescott who just tied Tony Romo for the most game-winning drives in franchise history. We're talking about Brandon Aubrey, one of the best kickers in football, who gives Dallas a chance in every close game. We're talking about Schottenheimer, a coach who has brought fire and creativity back into this offense. The tools are here. The star is still shining. Dallas doesn't need to mortgage its future or risk its reputation to stay in this fight. So, Cowboys Nation, here's the bottom line. Tyreek Hill is a name that will get headlines, but this team doesn't need headlines. It needs focus, discipline, and smart decisions. Let other teams chase chaos. Dallas has what it needs in-house, and when Lamb comes back, this offense will look whole again. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think the Cowboys should roll the dice and go after Tyreek Hill despite the controversy? Or do you believe Jerry Jones should steer clear and trust the guys already on this roster? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe to Dallas Game Day because this season is just heating up and we're riding every step of the way with America's team.